Blessings and peace.
What great bounty, Chung-Fu.
Bounty of the divine that you all are.
Bounty of the divine.
When you gather, the bounty is bountiful. Beyond your wildest imagination, there's no end to the bounty.
Really? Yeah.
Does that mean I get to build a Shungite temple?
Oh yes, Jerome.
Great.
So, those of you that are listening, I imagine most of you are on the videos, are on the Rizuku and can, but if you would like to speak your voice, through your voice to us, which we always love, and, I think it's really powerful, you need to go onto the conference line, which is below the video, right at the bottom. You'll see the details of how to do that. But any of you that are on there, which there are a few, you can press *2 and then I will see that you want to speak. And yeah, I'm sorry to see that a few of you are struggling with a pixelated screen, view and screen. I don't think was anything we could have done about that. I guess
Solar deities.
Solar deities, yeah.
They are electrical beings.
So it could well have been that. It could well be our internet connection. It may be many things, or your internet connection, but I'm afraid there would have been nothing we would have actually been able to do. Just looking to see what Janet wrote when Carmelia was in. She wrote, "You're so gracious, Carmelia. Much gratitude. What may we offer to you?" she wrote.
Ah, wonderful. Well, she was asking for your burdens, dear one. I hope you understood that. She just really wanted you to really give her, because, this is the power of the solar beings. This is their great service to you. This is the Christ light coming forward in this most beautiful presence of the solar lords and deities, and literally to take your burdens. So anytime, there's no time, space limitation. So you have had this experience in time, but actually it's eternally available to you.
Thank you. Cheryl wrote, "My gratitude to all deities for going to the root of shadow in my left upper arm to encourage the light and birth of welcome to earth, and to Sally for being the essential midwife, and Jerome and Sophie." And Alana writing, "Wow, thank you Chung-Fu and Solar Lords. This evening has been amazing. How do we each individually make a smooth transition into the fifth dimension, and what can we do to ease symptoms when our vibration isn't keeping up with the 5D reality?"
Well, the first thing to say is get to 4D first, because that's a very big leap. So what that is to 4D is where we're working here in the emotional body. It's what you said. You see, it's a big stretch, because you have an emotional body. You have all the humanity, you're in a third dimensional body, this physical body, as you say, there's so much going on, and that is why we bring you this presence. And please work with it again, again and again, and do the things that they were inviting you to do, to basically move, shift the energy, because that's the thing. Your body accumulates the emotional energy, and it has to kind of evaporate the other way, if you like. It's condensed down from emotional experiences, often many different lives, ancestral burdens that you are working with so strongly. But that's the thing. First of all, 4D clarity, that means emotional clarity. That means basically clearing the emotional body, meeting the places, all the work that I do with you, which is why I do it for you, so that all that content, it's familiar, and it's because it's the not knowing that is stopping you, when you don't know the emotional content or how to move it, dissolve it, transform it, you can't go to 5 density. You can't move there until you actually have befriended, love and embrace. Everything these beings were coming to do was to help you embrace the heaviness and dissolve it, to help you realize this is a soul of fire. If you've done fire ceremony with me, you know that process of giving your pain to the fire. Well, give your pain to the most powerful fire you have ever known. It is such a powerful energy that's coming into your world to exactly reveal and consume pain, sorrow, a massive amount of that transformation is taking place. So 4D first, 4D clarity, that means emotional clarity, that means astral freedom, that means working with your dreams, working with your deep pain and memory and soul retrieval. And then you will find you will just lift off into 5th dimensional reality. It's there. It's just that the density of the emotional body has to be met and dissolved so you can feel your 5th dimensional or 5th light density body. Peace to you one.
Thank you for that question, Alana. I'm going to unmute the only person who has their hand raised right now. It's a mobile number, I think. Hello?
Hello,
Who's that?
it's Karuna.
Hey, Karina.
Beloved, welcome, welcome.
I just want to say thank you.
Beautiful
Thank you
soul.
everybody. So much grace, so much appreciation, so much power and potency, and it's so strong, but so beautiful. I just want to express my appreciation and thank you all. Thank you all. Bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, beloved. Many blessings to you.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings, Jungfu.
You are most beloved, dear one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karuna. Thank you for that. That's beautiful.
Please say thank you to Sally.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will. I really hear the totalness in your voice, and I will share it with her. Thank you.
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Oh,
Peace and blessings to you all.
loads of love, Karuna. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm just going to unmute Dada. Hello?
Greetings, beloved.
Dada in Vancouver, can you hear us? Hello? For some reason we can't hear you. It may be that you've muted yourself. I'm going to mute you again, but I will come back to you. Someone else had their hand up, but now they've taken it down. All right, I'll come back to you, Dada, but see if you might have muted yourself. I'm going to speak Thomas's question and statement. I feel such a great sense of gratitude and the longing to stay connected so that I can serve for the highest good. What more can I do to hold the presence of the divine?
Peace, beloved. You know, it's all about your intention. You do hold the presence. Really, it is simply practice and intention and understanding to allow the expansion. It already is there. It's there in you, beloved. It's growing. And when I say it's growing, your awareness of the presence is growing stronger every day. You know, as I was explaining to the lady about 4D, 5D, you see, you're in this third density in the physical world. And so it's about taking your attention into that inner place where, as you say, you know you are connected. That's the practice I'm talking about. Because really there's no obstruction to the presence. It's only, if you like, a thought away. You see, what has happened is that over the ages and down through the generations, you've been given some false information that says in some way you are separate, and you kind of bought that. And gradually you've been making your way back to truth, which is that you are the presence. You know, in order to bring it through, if you like, in a manifestation, in a way of speaking, you see, you have to relax all these third dimensional, you know, whether that's your brain, not your mind and not your spirit, but your brain, which is maybe having thoughts going through it to get in the way. Perhaps I'm not part of the divine. Perhaps I'm separate. Perhaps I'm just a man here on the earth, all separate and alone. And, you know, so thoughts can get in the way. And then pain can get in the way. So in your heart, in your emotional body, you have to be able to love yourself, you know, to just accept yourself the way you are, and to be totally relaxed and realize this is perfect. In this moment, you are perfect. The divine can come through right now, just the way you are. And then your senses, your body. Perhaps you have an idea of how that might look or how that might sound. It just is the way it is. It's like the sound of a wolf howling. It is like the sound of a lion roaring. It is like the sound of the ocean crashing on the shore. It's the sound of the wind, the hurricane. It is the power of lightning. It is everything that is natural. So if we say natural, you are naturally one with the divine. That, I would say for you, beloved, because you are an earnest seeker. You are a true aspirant. Your heart longs. And that longing, that is the divine in you. So, I know you are going to get to that experience, beloved. But it is all about surrender. And that feeling of oneness. Just feeling it. Sensing what that means in your body, in your heart, and in your mind, and then surrendering to it. For you are indeed the living spirit within, beloved. You are one with the divine. Yes, and every day your experience of that will grow, but it is literally a practice. Because probably for years of your life, you were practicing something else that was more based upon a separation. So it just takes a little time in this dimension for that presence to come right into the physical body. Thank you for your question, beloved. Blessings and peace.
Blessings and peace. Thank you, Thomas. So this question is, I think you say Jay or Jai. I'm not sorry, I don't know. Jai Ariadne. Beloved, this is so amazing. It feels like a shower of light washing away the old to be here tonight. On that note, I wonder how to move forward and bring light when one finds themselves in a situation that seems very dark and somehow stuck practically, physically, spiritually and mentally since almost a year, even though working spiritually for hours every day, inner child work, yoga, meditation and calling for spiritual help, asking for blessings and protection. It does feel as though the last few days that something is shifting, a heaviness and fear is lifting.
Peace, beloved. Thank you for that deep work. Don't be fooled. Don't get it wrong. That's not, yes, it's hard, but that's not, irrelevant or disconnected from this process. Those who are most connected have had to do the most work. Those who feel the light the most strongly have been, if you like, thrown into process with some very dark, difficult places. Sometimes you are processing for many generations because you have come to shift so much. And you have made all kinds of agreements and promises to many beings, and you have and I can literally see this, you carried them on your back. And you're so used to being a kind of, someone who carries the burdens for many, that you have been putting them down. But you see, you didn't see that agreement that happened before, and so perhaps you thought that was all you. Well, it wasn't, dear one. That wasn't all you. There was a lot of burden, but I can literally see that you knew your strength. And you carried, well, I'm going to say unconsciously a lot for others. I don't know. You may have been conscious of it as well. Hopefully there was lots of anger that you expressed. And I want to say that you did make that agreement. So at the end of the day, you got to be angry with you, and you can ask for forgiveness from you, and you can do the whole Ho'oponopono with your higher self, because you did. You did decide to do that. But that is also a measure, you see, of your power. And so what happens is that as you come through these days now, you're going to find, it's like if you hold something that's got a bounce in it down, and then you just take it off and it goes and leaps up to an incredible height. So what I think, dear one, is that, yes, you are in rhythm also with something very big that has been emerging for the last, not the last year, I assure you, intensely for the last 40 years, but actually for thousands of years, in fact. This, the denouement, as we could say, of what is happening now in your world. And yes, it is like that. There's been this, it's been hidden. It's got layers of intentional hiding on it. And that has also reflected into people. That you're not allowed to show it, you're not allowed to say it, you can't say it, you mustn't say it, you mustn't go there, you mustn't express it, don't be angry, don't be afraid. This kind of pushing down of the natural expression of your humanity. And so a lot of the work I do, dear one, is to help people just not judge the expression of negativity, because it has to come out, but it needs to come out and be given to the elements, be given to the fire, the water, the earth, or the air. It has to happen ceremonially, because if it isn't held ceremonially, then it goes in a loop, and it attracts the hungry entities who feed off that negativity. So there is a way that you have to do this work in ceremony with the presence is divine. And that is something I think you have gradually done more and more. Understood that it is the divinity in you that's doing the work, that you have to identify with the divinity. Because if you identify with the pain and the sorrow, well, of course, that's your prerogative, you can, but then that puts you down and in a place of great pain and the illusion of separation, which causes great fear. And so the elevation of your being, which is why we are bringing this work forward for you to understand, you are that vibration. You are that light. It's as simple as that. And as soon as you understand that, then whenever you find yourself in that kind of, in that humanity, also very beautiful and very real, but you have to bring that light in, because it's up to you. It's your free will. And now you're doing that much more. And so what's happening is that extra power now is coming to embrace and lift up, well, I think probably really the last part now of this process. Because that was one of the big key feelings for you, was being alone, separate, not having any support. And now you realize, I have the right to all the love and all the power and all the light in the universe. Not just a little trickle over here, not just a little handhold over here. All the light in the universe. Once you realize that, that's it. You push through, beloved. You're nearly there. Peace.
Peace. Loving these questions and answers. They're just raining in blessings for the whole, aren't they? They're really strong. So Chloe's asking, and thank you, Hester. I've just seen that, and I've seen Joanna's question, so I'll come back to it. Chloe is saying, I've spent a lot of time in the last 2 days out in the sun, and whilst it felt good at the time, it left me feeling drained on both days. Carlos was the same. Do we need to be protecting ourselves better?
Yeah, it's not the sun. It's what the sun is lighting up. So yes, it's all right, you were in the sun, but it's more about, that's right, being aware of everything else that the sun is, or the solar lords, or the deities, the actual power of the sun, the inner power of the sun is literally kicking up and, pulling out all kinds of old, degenerate, negative forces, energies, manifestations. And it might look all very peaceful on your earth, but I can tell you that the work on the inner planes of all the ascended beings, solar lords, angelic beings, solar deities, it's literally like a maelstrom, really. Everything's just being pushed up into the light, consumed, moved around. There's a lot of chaos swirling around in the astral, and that's what's happened. You're both very sensitive, and yes, hopefully after this session together, you will feel that levity coming back in, dear ones. Yes, I think that's all it is. I am not concerned. Peace.
It definitely doesn't look peaceful here.
No, I know. I know it doesn't. That's right. That's why we're bringing this through for you.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Peace.
So Joanna Mitchell, feels so lucky to be here. A question for later. That's what she wrote it earlier. In case I can't. I'm sorry. Okay.
Where are we? Sooner or later?
Yeah. I've been calling in the ascended beings to come closer to me, including Angel Raphael and others. Please could you look to see if these beings are closer around me? Thank you.
Well, yes, there were already a lot of beings around you, beloved. Absolutely. You have many beings around you right now. As I say, you do always. But what happens is that when you intend it, and this is really for everybody, the power of intention, the power of your free will. You see, they are there. They're right here. They're not even over there. Or can you come over here, please? There's no space and time in the ascended realms. Now, this is difficult for you to imagine because you're on a timeline. It's all getting better or it's all getting worse, or yesterday it was horrible and tomorrow it's going to be all right, or however you see and experience time. That is a reality. That is what you've chosen, and you're all here. And yes, we're bringing these beings in this time space. We're bringing energy that is timeless, that is infinite, and that is what you're talking about when you say, I'm calling the beings, I'm calling the solar beings, I'm calling the angelic beings. What's actually happening is you are lifting up into that reality. Then what happens is you come back after your practice, meditation, however that is, you're journeying, and what's happened is you've embodied them, they're in you. That is the purpose of a practice. That is the purpose of a meditation. Because they're always there, but you don't necessarily feel them unless you do a practice, unless you literally tune your body up. You're tuning up your instrument so that you can sense them, so that you can hear them, feel them. And when you do, well, that's it. Now you can have them in you, vibrationally in you. And gradually that gets more and more and more until, until there really isn't any time when they're not in you. But that is a long process. So yes, yes indeed, Raphael, but also many others. I won't go through the long list, but I assure you there are many others. Beautiful
Give
beings.
her one more. Give her one more, go on.
Well, beloved, you have got Mother Mary there. You have got your beloved Lady of Avalon. You have got Rhiannon there as well. And you have got St. Francis of Assisi. You have also got, now who is that? Pavlov. And there are some other very intelligent beings there as well. You know, the ones that like to commune with your mind, that like to bring you positive thoughts.
There you go.
Peace.
So, Nicoletta is asking, how may I know the divine plan work for me? Because I feel so stuck in my current job, which brings me disappointment for so long. I feel like I'm not able to hear the divine. Thank you so much.
I understand, beloved, but you see, that was that was the word. I feel that I'm not able. So this feeling is something that you would find is quite old. So it came from before. So in any moment, you can change your feeling, but you have to understand what that feels like to change your feeling. So let me go into a feeling like cold and heat. So you're in a cold room, and then you walk into a warm room. Let's say that the cold room is fear, and the warm room is love. And that in a certain way you've been brought up in a cold room. You know, it's in your body, it's all a bit cold, there's not enough. And so the choices you have made, you know, you are intelligent, you are clever, you've got lots of skills. In fact, you're quite brilliant in certain ways, but you haven't understood the emotional body. So the I feel is the important thing. So I would like you to really look into yourself and go hunting for what you're afraid of. Because it's putting a lot of cold energy, that fear that's in you. It's like a fridge, if you imagine a heater, but it's a fridge and it's pumping out cold, fearful energy. And it's ancestral. So that would have been there in your childhood. So you got to really understand that that's your work. Once you've found the fear, once you understand the reason you're feeling cold, in other words, not really feeling the love, not really feeling the divine presence, not really feeling happy, and all sorts of negative feelings start to manifest themselves when you live in an atmosphere of coldness, of not enough, of fear. So if you find the source of it and you replace it with a heater, if you like, you put love there. And I know that sounds, I can't do that. You might think, well, yes, you can actually. You can do that as easily as somebody can put a heater in a cold room. Because that's your nature, really. And if you think about it, there are plenty of things you do really well and love to do. So it's not that you don't know what you love, but your fear made you choose something. You've made a choice somewhere down the line out of fear. So once you've discovered the fear and sat with it and held it, excuse me, and held it close, and that is a really key element for you, beloved. There's a really bereft, lonely place there in you. And that needs your love. It needs your holding. It needs the heat of your love. And when that comes, everything will change. And come and talk to me, G1, because we'll look into that together. Peace.
Yeah, please feel free, Nicoletta, if you want to approach, if you email us, then we can, we can help you to get a session where you could really go deeper.
It's necessary to go deeper.
And Chung Fu's really, inviting you that that it is necessary.
You'll see, it'll be easy.
Yeah. There's quite a few now, so partly why I stroked you then.
I like the little stroke. That means shush, Chongfu, that's enough.
No, they're really beautiful, deep questions, and I'm really glad that we're diving deep. But there's about 5 more really, really juicy questions, and so I'm just feeling that we probably, for people's sake, you know, who are wanting to stay until the end and receive the blessing and kind of close ceremonially.
But you just have to do the stroke, beloved.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Chloe, Jay, and Thomas, all really appreciating the answers that you've given. I'm wondering what Teggy's little enigmatic yep, I wonder what that was in response to. So I'm going to come to Retta, I think is how you say it, Retta. Dear Chongfu, thank you for these beautiful gifts and insights. The sense of dormant power really spoke to me, and I've been wrestling with a sense that there is so much more I could do, that we are so much more powerful than we know or believe, and I'm not quite sure what's been holding me back. In relation to this, can you help me to understand what is happening to my mother at this time?
Well, what I'm seeing here is a lot of fear. So, and since that's showing itself in the mother, I would say that that's got a lot to do with what's holding you back as well. Sometimes what happens, because this is the time, and I've been explaining that a lot to my beloveds, that when this light comes through, this solar logos light, it's a Christ light basically, and it's coming into everyone. It's coming into those who are really clear and ready and more prepared, you could say, with less trouble, if you like. And there's still problems because it literally goes down and kicks out anything that's in the way. So you would be experiencing that. For the older generation who may have just a ton of stuff that they've never looked at, it really can be quite frightening to feel a sort of personality shift happening. Well, I don't recognize myself. I'm not this. I don't. What is all this stuff coming up? Ugh, like being drowned in kind of something they don't understand. So that is what I think is happening here, dear one, and I'm sure you understand as well in many ways. Trust your intuition. You have got a good connection. So when I say that, I mean you can hear, and it's not necessarily shouting in your ear, but you can sense and feel. So ask questions of the spirit beings, of your mother's guides, and trust the answers, because I think you can help her. What she needs is some confidence. She needs some understanding, and to realize this is the Christ light shining, and that's bringing up all sorts of old wounds to be healed. Peace, dear one.
Peace. So, Dada, I have seen that you've got your hand up again, and I will unmute you in a moment. I'm just going to... and also, Chris, I've seen your question. I'm just going to ask Tegwins, though. Can you share something about the solar logos relationship with the moon at this time? Is there any ritual that we could do? I'm in my moon time, very strong.
The solar logos emanates through all planets, stars, through all of the universe. So indeed, the moon is very strong. The moons that you will be having, the full moons, all the movements of the moon, and of course as women, when you're in your moon time, this is very strong at the moment. This is the birthing power. You know, the moon has a lot to do with how you as human beings are doing the practical, if you like, the grounded work of actually walking this into being. So a lot to do with your emotions, working through the terror that's coming up. You know, a lot of terror because it's old. You know, this energy on the earth, this negative force that you all know about, that you're all dealing with, been there for a long time, and it's done a lot of harm, a lot of destruction. It's really, it's long term. It's dug in, and it's a big energy, process going on to pull it out. So as you feel this power, the solar power coming in, the moon has a lot to do with helping you move through emotions, clear emotions, and yes, it's working very strongly with the sun in that way. So it's healing. It's a healing power coming through the moon. Peace.
Peace. Thank you. Dad, I'm going to unmute you now. Hopefully we can hear you. Hello?
Let's try. I hope it will.
Yay!
You have it. We are here.
Hang on. I'm going to mute.
Thank you, Chan.
I'm just muting you again, Dad, for one thing. You've got an echo, and it'll be because you'll have both of possibly the video and the audio, open. So can you just see if you can mute the video? Okay, can you speak now?
Yes. Is it better now?
That's better. Thank you.
Peace, dear one. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Changfu, I am working with Shungite for quite a few weeks now. And doing meditation, I'm also surrounded by it, but I'm experiencing a lot of lower back pain, and it's a strange pain in the back, almost towards my hip area, and I never had that before, and I have no medical issue to have that pain. It feels like my back is burning for absolutely no reason. And if you could shed some light for me, I would really appreciate it.
So has that been going on the entire time, or just for a last period? How long have you had that for, dear one?
I say about 3-4 weeks, maybe less.
So
somewhere there.
Did it start as soon as you were working with the Shungite? How long in?
That's a good question. It might be, yes, possible. And I put it on my body, but it seems to be multiplying and it's getting stronger.
Well, yes, because it's very deep. It's something that's emerging, and I'm trying to see the actual source. And this is looking to me, but I would like to have a deeper session on it with you. There's a journey that needs to happen. I think you have got a past life wound right down there. It looks to me like a spear that has gone into your lower spine there, and it's that pain is coming out, but also it's a part of you is coming in. So there's a lot going on, and what would be good if you are able to journey is to imagine yourself walking back in time, walking back, going past your birth, going back, and this is 1, 2, 3 lifetimes ago. You're looking to me in a male body, and it's someone's come at you from the back. There's a skirmish. There's something, I'm not looking into all the detail because I'll get the leg stroke in a minute for being too long. But basically, yes, there's, so with this kind of wound that's coming from another life, it's to let go, is to keep releasing and make sound. I think you died really quite in a lot of pain, but you couldn't make sound because you fell forward, and looks like you fell into mud. So, there is something in the throat which is also connected here for what I'm being shown here. So it's sound. Try and link the hip area with the throat area. They're very linked anyway. The root center is the lower harmonic of the throat center. So if you can breathe into that pain and try and imagine that the voice is coming from there, and first of all, just imagine it and do it with breath. And then start really working with sound and moving the hips as you make the sound. Quite a lot of sound like that, any kind of sound. Because it should move. It looks to me that it should move. It doesn't look like anything structural, just a very deep wound that went right in and can come right out. Pain is a memory. You will also probably get a memory there, and it's all to do with betrayal. And I think betrayal would be something quite big for you in this life. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you very much. Actually, very accurate. I did not mention the throat issue, but I'm experiencing a little bit of that too. So I can see that. Thank you so very much.
Peace, dear one. Peace.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. Blessings to all.
Yeah, blessings.
Great blessings.
Dada coming in from Vancouver.
Wonderful.
All the amazing nations.
Remember to put a
represented
little bit
everywhere.
of that shungite somewhere on the earth, like Amon Shungin said. If you got enough, find a little piece and plant it somewhere in your garden or in somewhere near you where you know where it is, or in a tree, or just put it on the earth, because Amon Shungin is trying to make a great, a global grid. Peace.
Okay, I'm going to read Chris's question now. I have to come here because my phone's run out of battery now. So, where are we? So grateful for the powerful transmissions and the healing with the solar beings tonight. I've been processing the wounding from the betrayal from my father and mother and its residues that are still there. I've been going deeper into my heart and clearing her, but feels I need to crack open and speak to my mother about the grief and the reconciliation with my father I recently revisited. Any advice on how to approach my mum, as there is a place in me really afraid of her unexpressed grief and her tendency to get hurt by my truth. Also, whilst I've been working spiritually during this period daily, I'm also in my mind a lot. Is there something that I'm doing wrong? Is there something I need to know to support my development? Last week I had these strange experiences during meditation, like a vortex opening in my third eye and my crystals burning on different occasions. Are these downloads? Peace, love and blessings.
Last question first. Yes, they are. Also, your guides and helpers trying to bypass your mind and come straight into the perception there. So yes, they're downloads. In regards to your mother, I really want to talk about, your relationship to the Divine Mother. That has been very necessary to raise within you. And as that raises that energy of the goddess within you, of course you want to bless your mother. You want to help her, really. That's really the energy that's coming through, is you want to help her. I know you feel it's about you, but it's actually a divine intention within you that you really want to help your mother come out of her grief. What I want to remind you is that you can't do it for her. Obviously, you know that. I know you're an advanced student, so you do understand that. However, it's good to go ahead on that hunch, on that intuition, but also pay attention to what you know. So you know that she tends to react, take offense, and so on. So either, there are various ways to work on that. Do the whole Ho'oponopono anyway. Really work on, which is working on yourself to clear any places where you do in fact hold any resentment or dissatisfaction or, your own pain, because you got to work on your own pain. Your mother is not going to, obviously you realize that, she's not going to be easy to deal with, and she's not going to be in a healing mode. She's not going to be that mother that you wanted her to be. She's the mother she is, and you know that. So come back and make sure you're in that priestess mode, that you're basically going to go forward to your mother in a sort of ceremonial way. Now, I don't know exactly what that might mean for you, but think of your mother and think of the things that she loves. Maybe there's a form that you could use that would befriend her spiritually. So don't try and impose your forms. Think of how you could work with her in her ways of understanding spiritually. So, from that point of view, you're more likely to get a good communication going. So do the whole Ho'oponopono. Understand that you have to clear yourself. Call in the goddess. Make sure that she is really in you. And then do a several stage approach. So, Mother, I would really like to talk to you about something very big and sacred. you know, I'd like to talk to you in a sacred way. Can we light a candle and you know, do that? And can we make a time to do that so she's prepared? So she knows it's something that you want to arrange with her, that she can refuse or accept, but open. I want to do that. Will you do that with me? You know, it's something special. It's something big. It's a healing thing. I need it, and I feel that you need it. Would you be willing? And once you have made that agreement, then again, come forward and say, Mother, what it's about is that I feel your pain, and I really want to do some prayers with you. I want to do something, and think of the way she would work. And that's, you know, make that intention. So it's several steps. So she is kind of thinking about it, and then arrange a time and do it in a way that is very friendly for her. Peace to you, Anne.
Okay, peace. It's 11:20 and I'm feeling the need to close the session for everyone's sake, but there are 2 more questions that I'd like to finish on, and then we won't go any further. One from Janet and one from Colin. Just thought I'll just share a few things, some practicals, because then when we've done the questions, Chung Fu will do the blessing and we'll close the call. But the next one of these, the 3rd session of this, is in 3 weeks' time on the 30th. But between now and then, next week on the 16th, we have our live call, our monthly live call. And it's a separate thing. It's not part of the course, but just so that you know that that's there. I'm very aware that we kind of, in a way, between the first one of these Rise and Shine and this one, was a little bit of a dearth of communication between, certainly from us to all of you, and I kind of apologise for that, really, because we like usually to be quite dynamic in the kind of connection and flow and communication, but as you can imagine, it's really for the same reason that everybody else has been kind of reeling and stunned. We've been kind of in our own journey of both kind of pumping out a lot and then also obviously reeling with all the circumstances, and so it did kind of get a little bit thin on the ground. But as I say, between now and that one, I just want you to know that there is that live call, that if you're feeling that need, because this journey is meant to be a flowing, ongoing journey, and the other thing that we will do is open up some discussion kind of threads in this membership area, which is always a really good place to just sort of come back to then and just be with each other and connect with each other and share your wisdom with each other. So we'll do that, and we'll open up those threads. And then there's also the live call, which is another point of you know, connection, because we really want to, you know, invite you to not just sort of just have these lone kind of, you know, big, beautiful opening experiences, but to actually have a flow of feeling that this is a journey, and this is a connected journey. So I'm really just sharing those practicalities, and I will send an email out as well to everybody that's in this course to kind of tie up those and tell you, make sure you're all really clear where the recordings are as well, so that you can come back to the recordings and that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll go to Janet's questions, then Colin, and then Chung Fu will give his blessing. So Janet is saying, Chung Fu, will you please tell me which spirit guide, ancestor, or otherworldly being is the closest to me, who I can call on the easiest for guidance and such? Is there a name? Thank you.
Can you give me the beloved's whole name, please?
It's Janet Bradley, and she comes
you.
from the States.
Thank you. Ooh. Beautiful North American. He's got a pipe, and he's got a wicked little, it's not quite the right word, cheeky is perhaps a glint in the eye, you know, really beautiful, kind eyes, really weathered face. As I say, he's definitely a pipe holder. He's got a drum, and he's a proper North American grandfather, and he's got his wife with him, and they are very close with you. I mean, they're sort of laughing. They kind of, you know, nudging each other and saying, "Oh, you know, he's seen us," you know, which is rather beautiful, because, you know, it's always such a pleasure when the spirits come forward so fast like that. And so I'm just going to ask his name, beloved, and the name of his wife. And they have been your grandfather and grandmother, and they are Hopi. They are Hopi. And all right, well, he is grandfather running wind. So he's a very when he was born, there was a really strong wind that was blowing all the whatever was there, feathers, I think. It looks like feathers, running wind, grandfather running wind. And the grandmother is, she's beautiful. They're both beautiful. And she is Atika, grandmother Atika. And well, she just gives me that name at the moment, Atika, grandmother Atika. There is more to say about her, but I'm just very aware of the time. So, and he says, there's something more to his name. I'm just going to wait one moment. I'm sorry, I got it right, but he says there's a bit more to it. All right, I'm sorry. Oh, all right. All right. It's actually running deer. It's running deer. And he said the wind was blowing, but his grandfather running deer. All right. Well, I do apologize, grandfather, for that. Running deer. All right.
Thank you,
Peace.
Chongfu. That's lovely.
And grandmother Atika.
There you go, Janet. That's really lovely, isn't it? That's beautiful. So now for Colin, he's just saying many thanks to Chongfu and the solar deities. This is so amazing. This is so amazing. I think he's referring to the what you shared with I've forgotten who right in this moment, but the other woman, Dada, who was experiencing the pain in her back, because he's saying this is so amazing, as I also have the same back pain in the lower back that started earlier today. It is still so intense and has been there throughout the entire session. Is my lower back pain also related to a past life issue?
You'll give me the whole name, do you want, please?
It is Colin. Could you maybe just put your...
I'm just looking, but give me your whole name so I get the right information, please.
I think it's Colin Theorins, but could you put your name in the chat, Colin, if you're still here? That would be helpful. Thank you. Just reading a few. So lovely Chrissy, our beautiful Chrissy in New Zealand, just saying heartfelt love and gratitude to you, Sally, Jerome, Sophie, all divine beings. Thank you. Matthew, thank you for such a heartfelt divine session. Love to all. And Rita also saying this. Thank you, Jerome, Sophie and Sally. Janet saying thank you and peace. Cara, hello to all. So nice to see familiar names. Colin Theorins, yes, Colin Theorins.
Thank you, yes. Well, actually, it's different for you, beloved. I was, they were telling me, even though, yes. So, in your case, beloved, it is a power that is emerging. It is coming through, if you like. The root center is opening up, and an energy is coming forward from deep inside. It's not quite the same. It is where there's been a suppression, where the energy has been blocked, if you like. It's been held. And as you were doing the meditation and the movement, something has shifted. So I don't know what else you were doing today, but it's moved something inside, and it's making way for this release that's happening. Now, in your case, I would say to you, water. Lay in some water and imagine that all of that energy is getting dispersed in the water. Use some salts, something to help you deeply relax. But what's happening is an opening up in that root center. So that's good. I mean, that could, however, lead to some quite strong emotion coming forward. I think it's very old emotional suppression due to some emotional wounding, but it's in this life only. It's as a child, something to do with your sexuality that has gotten sort of encapsulated, like it's gotten held in, and it's releasing itself. Essentially a good thing, but you just need to work with allowing the release. It is the same practice in a way, allowing sound, allowing movement, but the causality is that somewhere in the childhood, some heavy energy, and it might not have been intentional or conscious, but it's made you shut the power in that lower center down, and it's opening up. So it's good news, beloved. Peace.
Peace. I'm really sorry, Eve. Well, I'm going to put it to Chung Fu, but I'm going to ask you to literally answer it in one sentence, Chung Fu, because I did promise we're going to... Eve is just saying, Eve is an amazing lady who has a sanctuary for animals, works deeply with animals in America, and she's just saying, question for my canine friend, how did dogs respond to shungite?
Put it on the collar.
Hang on. Respond to shungite on or near their body. Would this crystal be helpful for pain in the dog's neck and spine? On the collar.
On the collar. Put it on the collar. You know, either you can glue it on the outside, obviously. You know, that would be all right but use a good glue, because it's obviously might fall off otherwise. Or you can put it in something and tie it on.
A good way might be, because Jerome's just done it for me for my mobile phone, and I literally cannot describe the difference that it's created on my smartphone, which, you know, used to feel like quite a lethal kind of experience holding it. It's old, but it's still strong. And Jerome crushed up loads of elite shungite, or some elite shungite, and he mixed it with some
Very
kind of
good
glue
idea.
And he put it on the back of my smartphone, and I
Yes.
think that might be a really good way of...
Yes, on the collar. Yes.
You could put quite a lot on the collar. You could layer it up on the collar with crushed shungite, because then it could be on the outside of the collar, and it would, you know, your dog wouldn't feel the roughness or anything, and there wouldn't be a sort of big thing that could get knocked off. And I think it would be really good. And then it could just be a collar that you used for any animal that was, you know, any of your dogs that were in need of it at any one time, perhaps.
Perfect.
Yeah, and definitely I would not feel in any way worried about, you know, certainly using it with your animals, because if a bee...
Oh, yes.
If bees, who are very, very sensitive and small creatures, are deeply drawn to the shungite, then I feel very sure that, well, and we have experience with our cats, certainly, that they love it. Okay, Janet, I'm really sorry. Maybe you're not actually asking a question. I've upper back. I feel I need to work with sound and movement. Yeah, I just say this because Janet's actually not asking a question. I've got upper back pain these last few days. I feel I need to work with sound and movement after listening to the beloved's questions and answers. Much
Very
gratitude
good.
and love.
Yes, indeed, beloved.
That's great.
That's it.
Yeah, so we're going to let
Trust
Chung
your
Fu-
body, you see, everyone, because your body, you know, it's a voice. It's a voice of your soul. Listen to it, breathe into it. Understand that pain is just a voice. It's something is being said, and that's how I interpret it. So that's how you can interpret it, and you can talk back to the pain, and you can talk back to your body, and you can instruct it, intend to release, intend to clear. That's how you do it, beloved. Your body is your instrument. It obeys you. So thank you all so much for being here today. And we thank all the ascended beings, deities who come forward today. We give such thanks that all of you have called them in, that all of you with your intentions, with your willingness and your open hearts have made it possible today for these divine beings, these ascended beings, deities, solar lords to come in. Understand that you are a creative part of that process. I do not do anything. You have called them in. So I want you to understand that.
Come on, you do a little bit, Chong. Come on.
Oh, Sophia, you ruined my speech. I shall talk to her later. Well, actually, I don't. I simply bring them through, beloved. But they arrive for the people, you see. That's the point, beloved, that I'm trying to make.
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to try and do the next Rise and Shine without you, all right?
Yes, it is a multi-layered type of channeling, if you like, that the vehicle opens to me and I open to the beings, and that is how it works, Diwan. That's right. But it couldn't happen unless you were coming forward with your open hearts to receive. That is the magic, that is the dynamic. The beings of light are here manifesting for you because you are coming to receive them. And so we give thanks to them all. We give thanks to every one of you, to all your guides, helpers, family, relations, ancestors, to your ascended ancestors. We give thanks to the great council of the light, great brother sisterhood of the oversoul of all humanity, who bring forward the teachings of unity, having been in many nations, tribes, races, religions, cultures, and faiths. These ascended beings now taking care of all humanity and bringing forward the teachings of unity, of non-separation, of a oneness. We give thanks. We thank the angelic and archangelic beings who come forward to protect this temple of light, all temples of light, and all who come here. We give thanks and we honor the solar lords and deities, especially at this time, and all the deities who come through you and bring the powers, blessings, gifts of divine feminine and divine masculine presence emanating from the solar source, the cosmic central sun, the Christ light, solar logos, coming into every heart, mind, body, ready and willing and open to receive the impulse of light from the source of creation and willing to carry it forward in your own unique expression, just as you are, perfect as you are, in the most beautiful, simple, easy ways, allowing that energy to come forward into your world. Give thanks to the solar lords and deities and to the elemental spirits, powers, deities of earth, air, fire, water, giving thanks to all the beings of nature, all your allies, relations, familiars, and power beings in all the realms of nature, in the physical and in the light realms, the animals, the birds and water beings, the insect devas and serpent beings. We thank you for all the powers, gifts, blessings, and qualities that each one here has received from you for their highest good and for the evolution of your souls and all souls. We give thanks to the fairy, the elven, pixie, gnome, leprechaun beings who dwell within the earth's body of light and who speak on behalf of the silent ones, the plants and the flowers and the trees, the standing people. We give thanks for food, nourishment, healing, medicine, beauty, radiance, fragrance. We give thanks for all the gifts and all the powers of the plant beings. We give thanks to rock, stone, crystal, metal, mineral beings, and for the storing of all the stories from all time here upon the earth. We give thanks to the Akashic record keepers who bring you from your book of life knowledge, information, memory, and experience to inform you on your soul's path in this life. And we give thanks to the beings who come forward from other dimensions, who are dragon of all the elements of earth and air, of fire and water. We give thanks for the dragon power coming forward for your soul's journeying, to the phoenix and the firebird, the Pegasus, the unicorn, all bringing forward special powers and gifts and blessings for you, for your highest good, for your deepest journeying, for your soul's evolution. We give thanks to those present here in this temple of light, from other dimensions within the universe, extraterrestrial, starseed beings, non-human intelligence, non-physical intelligence brought forward for your highest good, for the evolution of souls. And we give thanks for the overlighting protection, the love and the blessings, the peace, beauty, grace, the wisdom, the truth, the inspiration, power, strength, healing, compassion of the all-in-one divine presence deep within each and every one. And as you go forward into your physical, emotional, mental lives here upon the earth, remember, you are the manifestations of divine love, present here upon the earth to bring forward the divine plan. And as you walk forward, may the living spirit that is within all things and brings the at-one-ment of all beings come forward into you, bring your higher self presence, bring you clarity of mind, bring you clarity of perception, positivity and upliftment, power in your heart of love and joy. Bring you into your heart confidence, courage, compassion. Bring to your body good health, strength and stamina, well-being, abundance, deep soul connection, good immunity, and the ability to maintain your positive frequency and vibration in all circumstances, and bring into your life peace and harmony, love and deep understanding that is beyond the mind. Blessings and peace to you all, and I will see you next time. Peace, beloved. Jerome.
He's just coming back. He's just gone to get his phone so that we can play you all a beautiful piece of music that Jerome, we attempted to play last time on one of the live calls, but we hope that playing it into the room rather than from the computer might help. But if I'm going to ask you, Hester, because you noticed the distortion last time, maybe you could just put in the chat if it's distorting and doesn't sound that great. There's no point in us sharing it. But if it sounds, because it sounds lovely in our room, but if it's not sounding lovely in your ears, then we'll turn it off again. But it's a very beautiful piece that Jerome's just created called Jerome.
It's called In the Temple of White Tara.
In the Temple of White Tara. Can you bring it this side? Is that good? Can it pick it up there?
Yeah.
Okay, Hester says it's okay, great. Yes, Cara, we are family, we are soul and spirit family.
Peace, beloved.
Can you turn that main light off, Jerome?
Jerome. Thank you, Kira. Beautiful music.
Many more to come from all of us.
Okay, it's not sounding very clear now. I can't actually hear it. Is this any better, Hester?
Yeah. It's not us, it's the system. I think what we'll do, guys, is we'll pop a link in, and you can go and listen to it on my channel, because it's always going to sound a bit distorted through teleseminar and through this computer because of the way it has built-in limiters which kind of compresses it and doesn't make it sound very good. So we'll pop a link in. I'll actually put the whole track inside Rizuku for people to download and enjoy. So that's what we'll do. And yeah, I'm sure you're all super ready for a nap or something.
Yeah, lots of love, everyone, and we look forward to connecting again very soon. Next week, like I say, we'll be doing the live call on Saturday, next Saturday, and then and then the third one where we'll be meeting QnA, who is an amazing fifth dimensional intraterrestrial being, a concept or idea that I'd never come across until we met him many years ago now, back in 2009 I think we met QnA, or even 2008. And but yeah, he's as opposed to an extraterrestrial, some beings that are from off the planet, he's an intraterrestrial being who lives within the light body of the earth in the fifth dimension, and who works very strongly with the earth and healing of the earth, and that's who we're going to have the great joy of connecting with and meeting alongside many perhaps other beings that we don't know yet next time on the 30th. So look forward to that, beautiful ones, and so much love. I think Jerome's just going to get that link for you and we'll post it, and then we'll close.
Kara seems keen.
We'll close Rizuku. Do go to Jerome's beautiful YouTube channel. What is it, Jerome?
It's J Rocker Sacred Sound.
J Rocker Sacred Sound.
J Rocker has just been my music production name for many years. Most people know me by that for my music. So yeah, there's a link there, and it's J Rocker Sacred Sound on YouTube.
I encourage you to go and subscribe, because you'll receive notifications. So far Jerome's put three beautiful tracks up, and they're all really beautiful. So if you want to get notified when he puts another one up, then go and subscribe and comment on them as well, because it all helps them to get kind of up in whatever
helps them get out there a bit more.
Helps them to get out there a bit more. Anyway, beautiful souls, we will see you soon, and so much love, and see you next time.
Ciao.